Maybe this will help. Will this help you?
Don't forget the maybe, baby. Don't forget the maybe, baby.
All I'm saying is we need to get the studio.
It's showtime.
Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help.
Don't forget the maybe, baby. Yo, Mike, you ready to get started, bro? You ready to get started? We gonna do this? Nah, I want to do your favorite thing. I don't know. Let's do this. Yeah, I feel like now we ready.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we needed. That's all we needed, man. Ladies and gentlemen, and Mike as well. Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help the podcast.
How dare you welcome me?
In case you didn't know where you were today,
like I'm a civilian.
In case I caught you off guard, welcome to the podcast, brother. We're gonna talk about that good, that bad, and that alimony.
All three of them.
You ever had to pay alimony?
Hey, listen, I got some stories about some alimony. I ain't never had to pay it, but I got some.
I ain't had to pay it because I know where the bodies is buried. I understand.
Yeah. Hey, I just sent you a text.
Oh shoot!
So, ladies and gents, we got some pretty big things coming up. We got invited to on a couple different podcasts to as some guest hosts. But so we'll be putting that information out soon. But yeah, we got some pretty dope things in the works. We just have to, do our due diligence and vet all of these podcasts. The last thing we want to do is be a part of something that we're not, in line with. So
I just want to let's just jump on there and do it and see what happens later. Zero.
I'm all for it. Listen,
zero responsibility.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Complete deniability. I didn't know what they were gonna say.
If this was our podcast,
you said if
it was our podcast,
who's in it?
God's. And I think
there we go.
If we didn't have to answer to a higher power about some of our moves, man, we probably do a lot of things. But
this thing would be out of control.
Divine accountability is the best accountability.
Hey man, you ain't never lied about that because I definitely can't count on you.
Never asked you to. Please, nigga, I can't barely count on me. So let's get into the podcast.
Sheesh, ladies and gents. We're about to get started here. We appreciate you guys coming on this evening. Come on in. Say hello. Say goodbye. Say something.
Invite a friend, get your favorite snack, your favorite friend. It's about to be 2 hours of some good stuff. We're about to have fun talking about stuff that might help. I was telling my friend last week, I said, sometimes I say stuff on the show and I might, put all that in the camera. Just hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We just gotta get rid of Mike real quick because he's just disrespectful. He likes to pull his guns out. Okay. Nobody getting shot? The way you stood up, I thought you were just about to reach. Just the way you, okay.
Good brother. What were you telling the people?
What up, Jay? I was telling one of my friends, yo, Mignon, what's up? We missed you as well.
Where's she been? Where you been at?
Nah, look at her. Look at the little profile picture, bro. She been out there doing her thing. She got the new profile pic, the braids. Like the soft hand on the face. You've been taking modeling classes. You've been doing something.
That was the pose that you did when you went to the one hour photo in the mall.
Don't do her like that.
With the fake.
This is why our audience counts are dropping. She said, "Child, I had to take a break and re-up."
That's go. That's dope. Sometimes you need to. I get it.
What up, Pookie Sunshine?
Oh,
I was telling one of my friends that sometimes I rewatch the podcast and listen to some things I said, and I was like, I don't agree with that. Be 30 minutes after the podcast, so I'm like, sometimes I just be flowing, and I come back and say, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't mean that. And that's just what it is sometimes. And I was telling them that because that's why I love this podcast, because it's not staged and it's not scripted. What Carrie had in mind for this was when we all come together and we're just venting, talking to each other, guys, you know, brothers, men, and we'll say a lot of stuff out of emotion and we say some stuff logical, and we don't have to. There is a form of accountability there to what you're going to do about it, but it is a safe place to just talk. And I think that's why a lot of people who do watch this podcast love it, because it's not advice driven.
Yeah.
It's really just driven by an opportunity to have a safe place just to talk, to hear what men think about, hear how we communicate with each other, how we hold each other accountable, but also how we challenge each other, and just how we see things differently as men, and how easy it is sometimes for us to see things a new way without being nagged or cursed at, right? Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that people have told me. They said they love to see us disagree and not disrespect.
Yeah, because especially you and I feel like as much as we are alike, we're different in a lot of ways too. And I think that yin and yang really complements each other. And I think for me, that what I get most out of it is the transparency. You know, a lot of podcasts who won't be named, don't need to be named, are living one way, but doing the thing, or out there lying to the people, or giving advice that they wouldn't even follow themselves, or just saying what sounds good. How many times have you seen a post or watched a podcast? It's like, yeah, that sounds good. Like, are you catering to your audience, or are you really out there speaking the truth? And I feel like here on the show, we are as transparent as we possibly can. Granted, we're not just telling all of y'all our personal business, because I mean, there's boundaries, right? We talk about that all the time. So there's just certain things that maybe we may discuss between you and I, but we may not bring it on the show. But the things we do divulge and share with the audience, I feel is legit 100%, either things we've been through, going through, or may see upon the horizon.
It's crazy how we'll end the podcast 2 hours of talking and then talk for another 30 minutes.
That is crazy.
On a VIP level.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody know that's me, you, and Jay after that. Like that's
That's And what's crazy is, and this is what I don't think the audience realizes, sometimes we'll go back and talk about one of the comments that somebody from the audience made that really just stood out, or man, did you see when such and such said this? That was crazy, and have a full dialogue. So that's why we always say at the end of the show, if nobody else gets helped, we get helped, and that might be by one of us, or it might be by somebody in the audience. Like, I feel like it's important when you watch this podcast not to come in with the attitude of, here go two black dudes again with a podcast, or you know what I mean, with a closed mind. You just got to have an open mind, and that's the only way really you can receive anything.
Straight up. Now tell me, do you really want? Yeah.
Now tell me, anyone want me to love you? It's not that hit and run.
Yeah, you got like 3 out of the 42 words correct. But that's good enough.
Run. Got it.
That was it.
Straight up. Cool. I mean, listen, work in progress.
That karaoke screen bad.
Hey man, how was your week? Your past week?
I ain't talking about nothing but double date night. That's all I'm talking about. That's all I want to talk about.
Who had a double date?
I went on a double date.
Who double dated with you? Wow. Who dated you?
I know, right? Who dated you, and then who said they were gonna double date with you? I found me a bunch of crazy people to do some crazy things with, man. And I think that that was a highlight of my week, honestly, man. We started off at Bible study. Then we went over to the movies for some conversation and Equalizer 3. And then ended the night with some more conversation. It was as the person who I went with said, it was solid. It was solid. Solid.
That Bible study. So this is the first time me and Janae have done Bible study together. Like going out and done Bible study. We'll watch like church or something here, but going out and done it was good, man. It was good. We definitely coming back. And I think I was telling her she said she was telling me in the car like she was a little bit nervous, you know, when we had to split up.
Oh.
Because, you know, she growing up, like she grew up she didn't grow up in church like I grew up in church. So for me, I was comfortable. I was in my element. You know what I mean? I'm talking at the table and we spouting scriptures back and forth. But what you say?
That ain't your element. You don't even like people, Mike.
I don't. Well, that's what's so crazy. That's why I was so surprised that I enjoyed myself. And then when they said break up, I was looking at Janae like, all right, somebody finna get, all right. Y'all can leave me over here with these crazy people if you want to. And it was just good, man, to see white people, black people, Asian people.
Look, that wasn't it super diverse?
Yeah, it was. I wasn't expecting. I feel like for me, even walking in, it was a bit of a like culture shock because I'm used to a certain type of Bible study. You know what I mean?
Look at who invited you. You know how I get down.
And it screams Donnie. The whole vibe screamed this. I can see why he comes to this every Friday. So, but yeah, it was a good time, man, and it was a good experience, and we'll definitely be back, man. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. That was it was dope.
It was, man. I had a really good time with y'all, man. It was cool. Jay, it was cool that she was at the table with my lady, so that at least they was together.
Yeah.
Because I know what she had in her purse. You know, somebody got out of line. She already told us on the previous episode. She carry. She carry Carey. That's all I'm saying because I forgot we live. Moving on.
Right.
Equalizer 3 was dumb.
It didn't make no sense. Man.
Denzel is the man. Ignorance.
He is. I mean, he never fails. Like you always know you're gonna get an A1 performance, no matter what it is. Because for me to believe that this 75-year-old man is in here whooping ass, like Denzel was in there whooping ass, was like, oh yeah, I'm a believer. Like I feel like if me and him got into a fight in real life, he may kick my ass. That's how I felt.
Come on, my favorite line of the movie. I don't care who didn't see it. He asked him, "You a good man or a bad man?" I said, "I don't know." Later on in the movie, he said, "Why'd you help me?" He said, "I asked you if you was a good man or a bad man, and you said I didn't know. Only a good man would say that."
Yeah.
I said,
good.
boy.
And the line he said about the peace, protecting his peace, he said like something to the effect, "This is the first time I've ever gotten to feel peace." And he said, "And I'm not gonna let you take it from me, and I'm not gonna let you take it from them." When he had the little two guns in his house, like, oh,
it's the subtle things that Denzel does, homie. Why you holding a gun?
Right.
It's like,
right.
Gee whiz.
If y'all ain't saw it yet, go see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, was that your check-in, or you got some more to say?
Yeah, no, I got, my baby is in Africa. I got to I've been FaceTiming him like every other day, like a helicopter dad, but he's out there having a good time. They did an outreach ministry, I think today or yesterday, where they went grocery shopping and filled up some bags and went to take them to the less fortunate over in Africa. So he's really enjoying himself, and I feel like he's ministering and getting ministered to. So
yeah,
I'm excited, man. Like I said last episode, I'm just excited to hear the stories, to see how his life is going to be changed from this experience. So yeah, that's it for me, bro. That's all the check-in I got. Let's get to it.
Last week, ladies and gentlemen, we ended the episode talking about chemistry, and we are going to touch back on that, but I just figured we do a buffer conversation before we get directly into that.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is how we're going to start. Who stole my buffer video? It was right here.
Come on, man.
Mike, did you move my stuff around?
I mean, possibly.
Possibly. I promise you it was right here. Okay, let me just re-add it. Not a problem. Give me 1 second. One shake of the hand. Oh, shoot. I guess I didn't. All right. Well, we're going to do it like this then.
Sad.
It is kind of sad. We're going to start with the chemistry video.
I
don't know where it went.
Decide what you want and not switch to the other side of the street just because it's chemistry.
Okay.
We have to say chemistry is not 100%. There's financial things that you got to talk about.
Yep.
There's like family things. If I want a kid and you don't want a kid, forget it. If I want to get married and you don't want to get married, forget it. Next. You are the deal. Decide what.
Boy, last week we talked about chemistry and tried to get to the bottom of what chemistry was, and we talked about it's this feeling that comes from having been connected to someone in a previous way, maybe pre-life, maybe, whatever your religious beliefs are or whatnot, maybe, God formed y'all together and sent y'all different paths, whatever. There's this knowing of a person without ever having physical experience with them that seems to be within you. And when you connect with them, it's like it's rebirthed or it's reconnected. And it's like, that's what we kind of came to the conclusion that chemistry was.
Right.
But is it enough to leave the person you with because you found chemistry with somebody else? And can you have chemistry with someone that, non-romantic? Like Mike said, he had chemistry with his kid.
Yeah. Me and you have chemistry on the show.
Yeah.
And that's literally a word that people use. I just love you guys' chemistry on the show, yada 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 yada. And I feel like it's just the melding of personality, of souls, of spirits. You know what I mean? Outside of romantic or sexual chemistry, I feel like there's, levels to certain chemistries. Like I said on a previous episode.
Man, all right. So y'all had a whole week to think about this. Y'all who are watching, jump in the chat. Let us know what you feel about this chemistry thing. I had some thoughts, man. I think that when it comes to the preliminary dating situation, right, the experience where you're taking somebody on a date and you come in with this preconceived idea of the questions you want to ask and the vibe that you're looking for. And I've been in situations before where the chemistry just overrode all of my plans. And I find myself going at a pace I didn't plan to go at, opening up in a way that I wouldn't have, a way I didn't plan to. And this is all the results of chemistry. But like she's saying in that video, is it wise to stay your course no matter the chemistry, or should chemistry be valued to a great degree? Like if you have chemistry with somebody that you're romantically interested in, should you give them premier access because they have what other people don't? Is it that valuable that they don't have to abide by the same standards or the same go through the same rigorous verification process as other people because chemistry is there?
So for me, I say no. Just because we have great chemistry, that doesn't allow you access that some other people may have. I feel like there needs to be some type of checks and balances when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Like it can't be just like your personal space, your secret space that only a handful of people have access to needs to be protected. And because we have chemistry, that's great. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that I know what you'll do if I let you into this space. That just means we get along great.
Okay. You just touched on the key point. What is chemistry really telling you? Like, is it telling me that I can trust you?
No.
Is that what chemistry means? Is chemistry saying that you're trustworthy and self-disciplined?
No. That's been my experience with chemistry. Because like I mentioned on the last show, I've had phenomenal chemistry with people that did me dirty. You know what I mean? So, I feel like chemistry is fleeting. Like, I'm serious. Like we have great chemistry now, but if I push the wrong button by accident or on purpose, are we still going to have that same chemistry? Or
but I feel like that's
going to change.
That's true for anybody. If you push any wrong button with no,
you could. You've pressed wrong buttons with me before. We still here. Jay has pressed wrong buttons with me before. Carrie, we've all pressed each other's buttons to a way where it's like, man, if it was anybody else, we probably have to have words or hands, or we wouldn't have a relationship. Something, you know what I mean? But it's those, like I said, those few people that you let into a deeper space in your heart that certain things you'll just, you know what, it's you. So I know that even though you did it, I know it may not be malicious or whatever. But I can't say that for people that I just have chemistry with.
Got you. Okay.
What do you think?
Wait,
what do you think though?
I just gave my 2 cents. I think that let me put her comment down real quick. I think my comment ties into what Pookie said, so I'm gonna say mine after her. Pookie says chemistry is just the beginning. However, it doesn't equate to a romantic connection. Not all chemistry is meant for a lifetime benefit. I've had great chemistry with some, and no longer speak to them.
Yeah.
So chemistry doesn't override the season, reason, lifetime idea.
Yeah.
if chemistry that you guys have is managed responsibly, I believe that it can be that extra sauce. It can um, maybe enhance or elevate the enjoyment of
Yeah,
whatever your mutual purpose is. Whatever you guys are partnering on, I think that the
yeah.
chemistry can enhance the enjoyment and the ease of it. But you
But
still have to
what was the
manage it
if? What was the if though? You said if it's what? If the
huh?
chemistry, you said if the chemistry is what?
I
It was
said
a pre.
if.
Yeah, you said it was a prerequisite to if the chemistry is this, then you believe that it could do X, Y, Z. I believe the words you said if it's
Jabal
you
can't
were
write
I
me in the
believe
chat.
you were alluding to the fact that if the chemistry is I'll just use the word right or
Hmm.
I wish I had the exact word that you just said, but you said something about the sauce.
Oh,
But it was the
a
specific
benefit.
word you used that was perfect because chemistry on its own doesn't mean anything. The chemistry has to be, cultivated and
So I
really
said no. I said if we manage the chemistry.
right. Yeah, right. If the chemistry is managed, right.
There you go. If the chemistry is managed, that means
Yes.
that okay, yeah, yeah. So it's a benefit if it's managed correctly.
Right.
Chemistry is only a benefit if it's managed correctly. If it's mishandled and is occupied from an immature mindset,
Mm-hmm.
chemistry can do way more damage than good.
Exactly. Yep.
It's going to be an asset or a liability depending on how the two people manage it and what mindset that they approach it with.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Because we
agree.
have chemistry means that, oh, I don't have to worry. No. It doesn't mean you don't have to worry about this. I don't have to go through my proper steps and channels. So I
Yeah.
really like what Pookie said because it really does highlight the fact that chemistry is not there to break any laws or override any of your personal responsibility you have to guarding your heart or to doing your due diligence to verify a person. But if you're able to find yourself equally yoked in partnership with someone that you have chemistry with, it can, if managed correctly, bring more enjoyment and more ease to whatever you guys have partnered on.
I agree 100%, and I feel like a lot of people get into these messed up situations because they're counting on this great chemistry to get them through those tough times. Or man, we had our first argument, our first disagreement, and it seemed like the end of the world. Well, yeah, because you're trying to use chemistry as a blanket of covering over your relationship, and that ain't near enough to handle those rough patches.
Listen, chemistry doesn't replace maturity, right?
No, no,
It doesn't.
no,
It doesn't
no.
replace maturity.
Doesn't.
All right. Yo, real talk though. I want to touch on this real quick before we move on. Amber McJellen, hi McJellen. She said maybe the chemistry is familiar spirits. And so from what I do know about familiar spirits, I would say for me this ties into how some people can be trauma bonding
I
and
was
call that chemistry.
Take it away, brother, because that's exactly what I was about to say. Go ahead, talk about it.
And so, yeah, I think that when it comes to that kind of thing, what you're, and we got a video on this later about your patterns and stuff. But if someone reminds you of something from your past and it triggers you in an emotional way that's heightened, sometimes we mislabel that and call that chemistry. But what it really is it could be out of many things, one, a form of trauma bonding, which I don't think that's ever managed well. You guys both need to find a way.
It's not.
I think that, but we look for that in our process of healing because it's almost like when I go to the gym and things start to hurt, but I know that the pain often means growth. But if I look to you ever been doing a workout and they say, hold your body this way and squeeze like this so you can feel that.
Mm-hmm.
You get that burn, and then immediately you start breaking form so you don't feel that burn. But the burn is actually the pathway to growth.
Yeah.
And so if you're in a healing process and you find somebody who has a similar trauma as you do, but they're not working on theirs, that familiarity may get you to try to start cheating your form a little bit, cheating your growth a little bit, because remember, you're not healed yet. So this is familiar, it's comfortable, and that spirit can really be there to draw you backwards.
I agree. Let me ask you this, because this question just came to me. And it's a little bit profound to me, but I want to see your take on it. So is trauma bonding, is that always something negative, or do you feel like that could be positive? And I'll give an example of it. When alcoholics go to AA meetings or grief support or what they're in there doing is they're bonding over all of these people's trauma. Oh, you know, grief support, XYZ passed away. Oh, me too. Oh, you know, now we're getting closer, and but at the same token, they're helping each other heal. So that's the positive aspect of it. But at the end of the day, it's still trauma bonding, because at the end of the day, none of these people would have came together and talked and opened up about these things if they didn't all have the same trauma.
So let's look at this from two different perspectives. There's one form of trauma bonding where it's our shared experience that binds us, and we're both trying to heal and grow from it. But then there's another form of trauma bonding that you do with your actual abuser. And so this is the one that we're talking about, where the person reminds you of a person that used to abuse you, and instead of avoiding them, you actually give them access, because you're still trying to wrap your mind around getting free from this idea of what love should be versus what you're used to love being. And they come in this very familiar way of what you just left, and something about you says yes, because it's that familiar. And so there's a trauma bond of me being a victim, and you're another abuser. I know what abusers are, and I'm used to abuse, versus this new thing that you want me to do and be self-dependent and all that. That's a mystery to me. But this familiar space over here is what I know. And so that's another form of trauma bonding. You know how we can take these definitions kind of anywhere we want to.
I'm gonna hit you with another one. So would you say, in your expert opinion?
Oh, wow. Here on Maybe This Will Help the Podcast, we got experts. right. New to me.
No, but would you say that that's why a lot of people, you know, when they get into these relationships and they say, you know, I had trauma with people not being faithful to me, and I keep finding myself in these relationships with guys or girls that cheat on me? Would you say that is that could be a sign or a pattern of what? Because at some point you got to look at your picker. It can't be your. You know what I'm saying? I'm moving a later video to right now. Run it.
I just listened to something that said they're not your type, they're your pattern.
I did not expect to get so much free therapy at 5 o'clock in the morning. Come here. Not only am I processing what I just heard, right? But I think the same person also said this. The reason why we self-sabotage is because it allows us to predict what's going to happen, which gives us the illusion of control over our pain. I really don't think you understand. It's so much therapy for free. That's the part that's getting me right now.
We can end.
Shut the show. Shut the show, bro.
What?
I'm playing it again.
Back again.
I just listened to something that said they're not your type, they're your pattern.
I did not expect to get so much free therapy at 5 o'clock in the morning. Come here. Not only am I processing what I just heard, right? But I think the same person also said this. The reason why we self-sabotage is because it allows us to predict what's going to happen, which gives us the illusion of control over our pain. I really don't think you understand. It's so much therapy for free. That's the part that's getting me right now.
That free therapy is legit, because I literally just told me that told Jay that was definitely me, 100%. Talk about revelation, golly! So we got to do the whole other hour and a half of the show, or what we doing?
Maybe this will help. Will this help you?
Don't forget the maybe, baby. Don't forget maybe, baby.
All I'm saying is we need to get in the studio.
It's showtime.
So good. So good.
So I just wanted to play that video to answer your question about it's
so good. That's profound to me. Like, that's probably gonna be with me for the rest of the week.
We're advocates for therapy, and this, for anybody who was wondering what therapy is like, that's a pretty good taste.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's a pretty good taste of what you can expect from a therapist you have chemistry with. No, from a well-versed therapist who's really taking their time to be present with you.
Yeah, those light bulb moments. And the crazy thing is, like our therapist Eric, he'll he'll pose these questions and have you answer the questions to your own question. You know what I mean? And as you're answering your own question, you're having these aha moments, like, oh shit, I just answered 3 years of questions in 15 minutes.
Yep. See, the thing about it that I've learned is that some of the toughest times in my life, I didn't need advice. I needed a better question.
Come on, man.
I was being asked low vibration or low quality questions, and they just didn't allow me, or they didn't coach me into an arena of my life where the pain really was rooted. They didn't coach me into a place in my mind and in my heart where the pain was really festering the most. But when you get asked the right question, the better question, the best question, it awakens you in such a way that you're like, I didn't need your answer. I needed your question.
Yeah. And like you said, it causes you to want to ask yourself more of these questions. As much as it may hurt, as much as it may bring you to tears and sadness and pain, and you have to relive certain things, it's a sense of purification, man. Like everything, I've had times where I've gotten out of therapy in full blown tears, but my insides felt clean. You know what I mean?
And nothing is the same after that.
Yeah, it can't be, because if it is, and that's just your dumbass fault for choosing for seeing. I'm just saying, for seeing something and you just choosing to say, okay, fuck that. That's not really, you know what I mean?
But see, even with that though, it's still not the same, because somebody asked me once. They said, how is it that Christians can still sin? How is it that Christians can still sin? And they said, once you go, you accept Jesus into your life, and you go up there, you get baptized and everything, and you still sin. They said, what's the difference? Why do it? And someone said, more than likely, we're going to probably, because it's a transition, it's a process getting out of those choices, you'll probably be able to do the same thing, just not as easily, because you can't unknow, unsee, unexperience what brought you to that place of conviction to make that commitment, right?
Right.
And so now you may go out there and do it again, but you're carrying a different conviction with you. You're carrying a different kind of knowing with you. So the act may still be performed, but not with as much ease. And so the more time you spend in God's word and around fellowship with like-minded people, that conviction grows stronger and stronger, which is really your spirit, man, gaining strength to resist in those times of temptation, what your flesh really wants to do. And over time, it becomes easier, but you never become, I want to say, immune to those choices. But yeah, it's so all that to say, maybe this will help.
Will this help you?
Pookie said, clearly I need therapy because the men I attract, Jesus take the whole car. God.
So, but
God.
look though, Pook. Listen, I'm trying to
take
make
the whole car.
But is it that the men you're, so just because you attract certain men doesn't mean you have to choose those men though. Just don't choose them. It may be a long road of being single, but maybe that's what's maybe that's what you need in order for when he does come along or does come around, you know, like, that's him. That's him.
You ever been checked without really checking somebody? Golly, lucky Pookie knows you love her.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because what you just said, you turned that back on her real quick.
But Pookie knows that. I mean, me and Pookie have had discussions. You always gotta self-check before you check outwardly, right?
I think about to say check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Like, that's legit. That was Ice Cube was speaking prophecy when he said that. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Or Mike, check yourself, or Mike will check you. I definitely don't. But sheesh, Mike, at this point, we going on 13 years. I am patiently. Ain't nothing wrong with patiently waiting, Pook. Ain't nothing wrong with patiently waiting. Woo, buddy. Yep. It's almost like people say, you know, when you least expect it, and we say all these things. I'm not gonna say we say all these things to try to just encourage you through the process. And I saw this video that cracked me up. You know how people going through hard times and they just say that you know, like better is waiting for you, and God gives his hardest battles to the strongest soldiers. He said, you're suffering and you're not God's strongest warrior, and things aren't going to get better. you're struggling. You just got to go through it. Like all this other pep talk and stuff is great in that moment, but it's really, if it's not scripturally factual or true, like it's just a placebo. And I think that's what motivational speakers like myself do. We offer placebo sometimes just to sedate you long enough to hopefully, if you have it, give some real truth that is life-changing and mind-altering. But a lot of times it's these quotes and these hype phrases that just settle you down for a moment to hopefully have somebody insert truth into your life that could transform you. But trying to live off hype alone, trying to live off motivational quotes alone, man, it ain't gonna match up to the storm. It ain't. It's an umbrella in a tornado, bro. It's not.
It's not.
Yeah. Well, let's just keep going with the show. I mean, this is the direction we're headed in. So, man, all right. Here's what some people are waiting for tonight. You ready?
There is nothing about a man's height that is going to make him a better husband, father, love you better, show up for you, support you, pour into your cup.
What about size, Allison? What about size?
Right? So that height, I get it. It's primal. It's like if he's tall, if he's fit, if he's big, I feel protected. But do you know how many useless is tall and big, and they will not protect you. They will not. They're not going to protect your heart, your spirit, your mind, your family, your womb. We need to be more mindful of making better choices about human beings and how they show up for you in your life, and not how they show up on a runway or walking down the street.
Yeah. So I heard modeling on the runway. I heard tall, and I heard fit. So you trying to get me back for the height comment that I made on Friday night? Got it. It's fine. It's fine.
I just figured we was gonna talk about you.
Might as well do it to your face.
You tall, you fit, you're a model. I mean, if we ain't talking about you, who we talking about?
Hey, listen, brother, I receive it. No, but that
right.
Is good.
Let's talk about this conversation because we know that. I guess a few years ago, it definitely became blasphemy to be under 6 feet tall as a man. In certain cultures, you're not getting chosen. So this was a blessing and a curse, right? Because it really helped a lot of men who are under 6 feet immediately verify quality women for them. Like if a woman was superficial and didn't really know what they needed in a man, they were easily identified because they put the height as one of the highest values. That was a deal breaker for them. So that was great because a lot of men didn't waste time dating, trying to get to know someone who had that perspective, which is what they were looking for anyway. But the curse side of it is that they also did get a chance to show them the quality they had and possibly change their mind. You know what I'm saying to you? So someone who's never suffered from that, how do you feel about this video, Mike? I mean, I think you came out the womb at least 6'2", out the womb.
What's crazy is I've never put any stock at all in my height. Like when people would ask me, what do you think your best trait is, or your best characteristic, or your best physical attribute, height has never been my go-to because I didn't realize, honestly, that it was such a big deal. You know, because at the end of the day, like kind of like she said, like what does height have to do with the things that are really or should be of value? Like I could be a big, tall, in shape, buff nigga that legit physically can't protect you, can't fight, can't keep a nigga off you, can't do anything.
So I would say the same thing though, Mike. Like that's why I feel like this was a recent thing because it was I never heard anything about my height when I was oh Lord, Pookie didn't text me. I never heard anything about my height until like I was in my 30s, right? So my whole life I'm dating girls taller than me, shorter than me. Like it was never an issue, but I feel like, you know, it was implanted at some point, which like she said is primal. I get it. In the primal sense, the understanding is that I watched this documentary is their actual word, called The Science of Sex Appeal. And it says that women are looking for anatomically a certain kind of man that looks like they can protect, go out, hunt, bring back, like strong, tall, like able to hold his own in a fight for survival, not to fight another man. And men are actually looking for women who have a certain ratio in their curvature of their body. They talked about like the triangle or diamond ratio to the face, how that is visually more appealing from a mathematical standpoint, but also a curvier waist means a easier or more suited birth canal for a child, right? And so they said that instinctively these are the things that we're attracted to. We don't know it. They even said like for a man, a woman with a higher pitched voice is actually, we subconsciously give them more of a chance when it comes to dating. All right. They even talked about like certain women find a certain kind of musk on a man when he gives off a certain kind of musk as attractive. But these are the things that we don't know that we're drawn to, but we're being drawn to them in most cases. So I'm just wondering if from a primal state, that do women who feel like their life is littered with a lot of threat just have an innate tendency to want tall and strong men because they feel a little bit more unsafe than most women in their day-to-day lives.
I can from a physical standpoint, I could see how women would think so, but again, like Sis said in the video, I mean, that could all be smoke and mirrors. It
could all be. So listen to some smoke and mirrors here. Pookie said, I still like to look up to my man. I wear heels. Please, Jesus, don't let him be shorter than me. I am way too big. You're not way too big.
So in my mind, I'm like, shut up, Pookie. You're not way too big. Like, what are we saying here?
But Pookie got some yams on her.
Can I get to the yams?
Sweet. I posted it. Remember that video we went to, me, you, Pookie, and Dub went down to eat in Santa Monica, and I took that video of all of us.
Yes.
And I started with Pookie's.
Yes.
Bro, I tell you, she got stalkers. DMs after that, bro.
Man.
He looked about 8 feet tall in that video, but I think Pook is 6. What? I'm 6. Pook is like what? 5'7", 5'8", something like that. So I guess for a woman that is on the taller side, and she puts some of them 12-inch heels she likes to wear, then you know.
Yeah, but with Pookie's, with her response, I get that. That's more of a physical preference. I think what a girl was talking about was women are thinking because these men are just larger men that somehow in their minds they can be the protectors.
Let me run back the first part real quick. Yeah. Look, Pussy, I get it right. 5'7". 5'7". When I'm retaining water, I'm 5'8". My feet get swollen. All right, let's look at this one more time.
There is nothing about a man's height that is going to make him a better husband, father, love you better, show up for you, support you, pour into your cup.
What about size, Allison?
So just that first part about being a better father, husband, they can see further because they're taller. So I think that might aid in the protection aspect. No. How do you want to debunk this, Mike? Or do you want to support this? I guess that's just.
No, I support it. I agree with everything she's saying. Like I said, Gigi tried to play me right now, saying yes, I have heard that. I've heard, man, you're tall, or you're so tall, but I don't think I've ever.
Nah, Mike, you've heard, damn, you tall. This is to be accurate.
That's what Janae said in church.
Because it's not like you're just tall, like you're burly. This brother, it's like, where they make those at? It's like a chocolate Russian. But
digress.
I think that it's important for everyone, regardless of what your preference is, like Mike is talking about, to identify if this preference really holds up when it comes down to what you really and truly value in life and what you really and truly want. You know what I'm saying to you? If I like, I'm not driving nothing but a red car, I have to ask myself, how does that connect to safety? Yeah. How does that connect to, gas mileage, like other things that are important for doing day-to-day life with? Yeah. What are some of the inconveniences, Mike, of being 6'6"?
Clothes, the amount of money you got to spend on clothes, because, designer stuff and real fashionable clothes, they don't really make for big guys.
And that's interesting if these are the tall and big men are the hottest commodity.
Talk about it.
Why don't they have like they have big and tall? But you go into the big and tall store, bro. That's not fashion that
Not at all.
big and
DXL.
tall model walkers like Michael want to wear. They don't wear that.
Right. Even when we went to Suit Fellas that day, or when me and Jay go, it's like a certain section. Like I'll be like, oh man, that's not. Oh, we don't got that in your size, but you can have this one. You can take this one over here. It's like that's cool, but
Got you looking like earthquake out here. Yeah.
I don't want no Steve Harvey suit. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool on those.
What other inconveniences, Mike? Doorways,
cars, the type of cars that to me are
feel comfortable in.
Visually appealing. But if I get in it, what am I going to be able to get out?
So, as a tall man, have you ever preferred tall women?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you guys were both tall, or was there something about tall women that
I had an ex that was in her 60s. It's like 6'1", 6'2".
You chose her because she was tall?
Yeah, because I had always dated women that were very short or a lot shorter.
Like everybody's very short to you, okay? So she was in her 60s. How was that for you?
Janae over here co-signing. That's facts. Anyway, you said what? She was in her 60s, so what?
How was that for you? Did you notice anything different? Because I mean, it's like for me, I want to put it on level playing field. Being tall does come with, I guess, disadvantages, but it also gives you a different view of life. Not like literally, but a different view of life. It's like being born like beautiful. Like your life experience is different because people are going to treat you different because you are good looking or you're trending looking. People treat you different because you're taller, and so that plays on how a person does life. So there could be a benefit there to someone who grew up with like that privilege.
So I agree with you. So walking in a room is a lot different. You can feel the eyes. Even when me and Janae go to the gym, she'll be like, "Did you see all the people look?" No, I don't pay attention to it. But on the other side of that, you get tested a lot. Oh, this nigga, he big, so he think he XYZ. You know
so they want to test you?
Yeah. And I'm a gentle giant until, so I don't.
Gigi over here preaching. She said taller people have bad attitudes. Most of
because Gigi knows most tall people in the world. So
is Gigi's tall too?
No.
Look at this, Gigi. I need to know your life. She said I went on a date with a guy that was 7'6". One of my worst dates. 7'6".
7'6" is probably like the world record. Is he in Guinness? Stop lying, Gigi. Stop lying.
Don't do Gigi like that. All right. So this is what I'm talking about. What Monique is talking about, the equivalent of very attractive individual. So living in a certain community, right, and just having what they call good hair, right? So that affords you certain privileges, and so you're used to life being a certain way, people treating you a certain way, and that plays on how you do life. So you get in a relationship, you bring an assumption of those privileges being there with you. Mm-hmm. And so I think that, from a grand scheme of things, just not picking on tall people, but just everybody has some kind of attribute that gives them certain perks in life.
Yep. And I think that, I don't know. I think but see, and I still feel like if this is a quote unquote perk that you've had your entire life, it's not a big deal to you like it is to everybody else. Like for you got a nice braided hair. It's not a big deal to you, but people might come up to you, oh, I like your hair, I like this, I like that, or your stature. You're very muscular. So but to you, you've been working out since you was 2 years old. So
we see it every day. So it doesn't impact you like that. It's not a rarity.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. You ready to move on?
I'm being ready, homie.
All right. Yeah, Mike, I'm done with this conversation. At the end of the day, what she said in the video at the end was important. She said that we need to start, putting more value on how a person shows up in our life versus how they show up on a runway or how they show up walking down the street. What are you bringing here? And I think that even with that being said, we can agree with it. But Pookie, are you willing to date him if he's 5'6"? If he shows up,
you already know what Pookie's finna say. Pookie has a non-negotiable that the nigga has to be at least 5'9".
Wait a minute. Gigi said, Dono, stand up. I am standing up. What are you talking about?
That's terrible. This nigga got his calves removed.
Gigi, I'm only 5'10", so I'm representing the other side of the spectrum. And life is, I'm telling you, man, it's a lot easier over here. I've dated women that were, in their 6'1", 6'2". They like the brother for whatever reasons, right? But I think that it's never been an issue. I remember my ex asking me, like, "Do you feel some type of way because you're under 6 feet?" I was like, "Not really," because she always heard Carrie. She heard Carrie. Huh? No, because she always heard Carrie talk about, yeah, you just wish you was in the 60s. Like Carrie would always tease me about that, and she's like, "Does that ever get under your skin?" Carrie Durrell. Carrie's 6'2", right?
Shut your ass up. Carrie not breaking that 6 foot threshold.
Carrie is 6'2".
Oh, you sound.
Carrie's not okay.
I'm gonna call my brother tomorrow. Like, nigga, you out here lying to people?
I swore, because I look at Dub. Dub is like 5'11", pushing the 6, and I know Carrie is taller than Dub.
What scale are you measuring from?
I don't know.
You using kilometers? What you
My
using?
eye's not even even, so I'm not gonna worry about it. The point is, she asked me that, and I was like, if it's never caused me to miss an opportunity, then I don't value it.
Yeah.
Now, there was a point in time when I used to be able to dunk before I gained a lot of weight. That's a whole different story.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was dunking when I was in 10th grade, and I was like 5'8".
That's pretty good.
But I was also 100 and something pounds.
It's a little bit more difficult the more weight you put on. I know.
All right. So Pookie said, yes, if God says he is the one, I have to be obedient. Dang.
She said, I have to.
Wow. It's not a deal breaker. It's not even a regular preference. It's a major preference. Good Lord, Pookie. Be honest. Be honest, Pookie.
Got to.
What's up, Martinez? All right, man. So let's move on to this next video.
Wives, you bring a critical spirit into your marriage, set the clock. Your husband's soul is dying. I don't care how tough he is, how strong he is, how resilient he is. You're tearing away at the foundation of his mental and spiritual health. All
right, hold on. Should we save this for later? Because I saw your face.
Listen, brother, if that's what that's what we got.
Nah, I'm gonna save it for later. I'm gonna do something different. Pookie, this one's for you.
I feel like the lines are being blurred regarding what men want from women in long-term relationships. I'm 6'3", 220 pounds, working class guy, fairly attractive. I ain't never really had no issues with getting women ever since I was 15 years old. I've had my fair share of hood rats and bad ones. But we need to stop listening to the narrative of some of these celebrities and some of these influencers and entertainers who didn't get no attention or no women till they got some money and fame. Their opinion don't matter. I represent the working class. This is what we're looking for. If I die before you, can I trust you to distribute the wealth wisely? Can I have fun around you? Can we laugh together? Can I keep my same routine I had before I met you, or are you going to be a distraction? Are you God-fearing? What's the last book you read? I don't want to be with nobody who thinks that their beauty is a currency. That will fade. Will you embarrass me publicly for some fame? Keke Palmer is not a wife. And have we forgotten that Usher has been out here giving herpes to men and women for the last 20 years?
And women. This nigga's rude as shit. Valid statements, though, but very rude.
Wow.
Not men and women.
Wow.
He said Keke Palmer is
if you've never been read your rights before.
Yeah, yo.
Hey.
What I really liked is about women.
Ever said one more time. Go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say I really like the statement of women using their beauty as a currency. That's so prevalent in today. Like, I'm pretty. Why shouldn't I get why shouldn't you do this for me? I'm pretty. Or why shouldn't you want to pay $5,000 on the first class ticket to fly me out to see me? I'm pretty. Like, when is that ever like?
People like beautiful things. I think it's fine. Listen, Mike, hear me out. I think it's fine, just as long as if you're enforcing that, do this because I'm pretty. Also, accept that when you start to dwindle, you no longer deserve those privileges. Accept both sides of it. When you start to dwindle, don't still expect to be treated like you're beautiful because that's what you valued, and you see the thing that you value. It's almost like being a millionaire and going broke.
Yeah,
you better enjoy it while you can, because when younger and prettier comes around, you should be able to respect the fact that I'm getting all this because I'm pretty. When someone's prettier than me comes around, I should let them just go ahead and have it, because
a lot of times I can't accept that though.
But based on my own theology, I'm saying that pretty deserves this. So the prettier, the more you should get. And so if he leaves you for something prettier, you ain't got nothing to say to him but well done.
But that's when okay, well then let me go get this put in me, or get this expanded, or take this out, and all of this other stuff comes around, because you base your whole life on something so superficial. When that starts to change or fade, you don't even have anything to fall back on. Like, I don't have no personality, I don't have no education, I don't have no money. All I have is these looks, and now that these looks is gone, I don't know what to do with myself.
I'm gonna tell you, like I told my friend the other day. I told my nephews this. I said, "There's nothing wrong with liking pretty. Pretty is good to look at.
Yeah,
but you need something different to partner with. Pretty is good. If you can find a pretty person that has partner potential and partner characteristics, then you struck gold. You know what I'm saying to you? But just thinking pretty equals a good partner, or someone that's gonna take care of your heart, or someone, like he said, like that can hold down the fort if something was to happen to you, that can be responsible for with the life that you guys have built together. If something would happen to you and you're gone, that can take care of your children. You know what I'm saying? Kids don't need pretty. They need a nurturer. They need breast milk. They need someone who's attentive and present. I want to say this.
Solid base.
I like this because this goes back into our last conversation. Nope, that's not what it is. Angelina said, people that use pretty hasn't been pretty their whole life. I like that because it goes back to what you said. You've been tall your whole life, so it doesn't really impact you like that. You're not trying to use that to advantage. It's just who you are. You see it every day. Yeah. Same thing. This is why I said people, I don't call people beautiful or pretty. I say that their looks are trending, because social media is like, or media in general is determining for us what's valuable. 6 foot taller for a man is now valuable. You know what I'm saying to you? A certain waist to butt to hip to breast ratio is beautiful for women. And when media decides to change that, the sheep are going to follow that. You know what I'm saying to you? So when someone's looks started trending, they're not used to these privileges. And so they have a tendency to go to their head, and they start using that as this is currency, which I think in this sincere honesty, man, people are just trying to get ahead in life. And if I'm trying in this educational system ain't really working for me, I don't really have the aptitude to really do good on tests and to be good at administrative skills, but I'm pretty, and they've now made available OnlyFans. People are just like, honestly, I'm just trying to feed my family. I'm just trying. So I try to look at the innocent side of it before it became perverted, and kind of give people a break, but also some insight on, like you said, when that's all said and done, man, then who are you? Are you looking at the damages that is costing you along the way? Because remember, if we're talking about how you're going to profit is not what you earn. Profit is what you've earned after you deduct what it costs for you to get it. And if you're trading in your soul, and if you're trading in your identity, and if you're trading in being a responsible human being just to temporarily get money off your looks, you're going to have to pay that on the back end.
I hear you.
Go ahead, bro.
So I agree with that last little bit you said, but I don't feel like a lot of these people are really trying, and they've exhausted all their avenues, so now they just gotta fall back on their looks. What I think is motherfuckers is trying to take the easy road out, and they said, hey, I know I look like some of these other girls out here, or I didn't pay to look like some of these other girls out here. Let me go ahead and make this easy money, hop on OnlyFans and run my account up. I don't feel like they just out here. I've just tried everything, and I guess if I have to, I'll just.
I tried to help y'all. Mike coming for y'all. I tried to help y'all.
Not at all.
Mike ain't having it.
Not at all. Nope.
All right, Mike. I'm gonna throw you in the category then, because somebody said you was attractive. Do you think you think we have as many people in the audience if we were an audio podcast only and not visual?
No.
Because
we're both attractive. And I mean, our viewers are what? 90%, 95% women? I don't think that's coincidence.
I thought you were about to say our viewers are 95 years old. Old ladies on here.
Age 60 to 95. No, because look, if we were both women that I'll just call them Instagram women, I'm sure we have way more males tapping in than we have females. I think it plays a role. I do.
All right, so let's get controversial though, because Jay is saying all these women are shooting for the. Yeah, I know you love controversial. All these women are shooting for the soft life, right? So if it's wrong or we're saying that women need to check themselves.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying let's be honest about it.
Okay, so let me say it this way: would you put them in the same category if women are using their beauty for currency and going on OnlyFans? Isn't that the equivalent of a nigga that's athletic or tall shooting straight for basketball or the NBA or NFL? Because they're
go finish.
Being pretty is not a skill set,
right?
But neither is being tall. But people push them in those arenas, and isn't that in a way kind of shooting for that soft life as well? Because they're not making them finish high school now or college; they're shooting them.
So, what type of skill do you have to have for OnlyFans? Don't answer that yet, because last I checked, just being tall didn't get you into the NBA. You have to work.
I'm happy you said that. And so being pretty and not knowing how to present that prettiness plays a big deal too. What filters to use, what light.
You can mimic. I can go and look at Instagram girl and say, oh, she's getting all these followers. Let me just pretty much do what she did. Let me just blind follow the blind and just do whatever she did.
What's the difference between a young basketball player idolizing Michael Jordan or Dwayne Wade?
Because I can idolize and I can look on YouTube and go to their Instagram page and follow them and all that stuff. But if I don't get out there and work and get on that court and dribble that ball and stay up nights and early mornings and all this stuff to actually get my skill together, none of that is gonna matter.
So you're telling me that you're saying that you value the kind of effort that goes into becoming an incredible basketball player or a mediocre ball player that goes overseas. You're saying that that's not equivalent to the kind of effort it takes to market yourself on OnlyFans.
1,000% is what I'm saying.
Wow. What about the strip club? That takes practice.
Listen, that's your lane.
I'll speak on it then. Major deflection.
You like that, huh? Listen, I can't talk about shit I don't know.
Listen, I thought that was your resume, my God. I mean, that's on your resume. You know what I'm saying? All mine was done for one person. You out here doing street booty things. I think. Oh man, out here looking like public property.
Come on, man.
So I will say, I think that there's a certain attention or a certain energy and effort that goes into anybody that's trying to take a physical attribute and monetize it. There is some work that has to be done on the back end of business. It's still creating a business, and I think that's something to be said for that. Whether I agree with how people do it or not, I just don't want, like someone said up here, all they gotta do is just Angeline said, just be pretty and quiet. That ain't gonna get you paid. That ain't gonna get you paid. So I just want to acknowledge that there is some effort they're putting into it.
And again, I'm not persecuting or saying anything. Anybody doing OnlyFans is wrong. I'm just saying we just got to, and you don't even have to be honest about it. I would prefer people just to be honest about why they're doing it. And I don't think it's because
honest, like Miss Rose.
No, honest, like I'm going based on your statement of they tried. The education system wasn't working. And,
all right, maybe I painted a super sad story at first.
No, we're gonna use it because you got out the violin. And, I was like, golly,
I did lay it on a little thick.
I guess I'll just fall back on this $25,000 surgery then and just. I guess. Listen, it's cool.
Uncle Sam ain't working. You got to get you a sugar daddy, man.
Listen.
Oh goodness, man.
Yeah, man. No, but it's real talk though. I would suggest not putting all your eggs in the pretty basket.
First of all, Janae, you coming on pretty strong. It's wrong being adult. For being a pretty person who's been pretty their whole life, I'm talking about your people. Don't sit here and try to act like they're not your people. Being adult. You've been pretty your whole life. You don't know the struggle. You don't know the struggle. Get out of here.
You don't know nothing about, huh?
And you light skin with curly hair. You don't know the struggle. You ain't never wore a wig and a lace front in your life. You don't understand how hard it is in these streets.
And she light skinned. She said, I'm on her side. Sorry. You take that back.
That's right. You on her side.
She got a 10 today.
Yo, going back to her soft life comment, though, Monique said a soft life being pretty or not, maybe they don't have professional skill sets. Maybe there are those that are doing what they know. No excuses, though. And that even goes into the examples.
No, but how do you know? No. See,
she said maybe. She said maybe.
I get it, maybe, but they're just doing what they know. Even let's take stripping. Even stripping, you have to work at or train at. You can't just get up there and do 2 body rolls and think you're gonna get all of these. You gotta actually work. Am I right?
You said that was my lane.
No, I'm asking you, am I right?
Bruh, let me tell you.
You had whole performances. Am I right?
Let me tell you though. Let me tell you how the game got twisted though. My partner and I used to go on stage. This brother would sit on the cage and they would just throw money out, and I'd be out there just dancing and working. But they would just, because at some point it became a competition between the tippers and the women. It wasn't even about the dancer at that point. So he really could just sit there looking like, the Greek god and just make money and walk off stage with a whole bunch of money. So, but he did build himself up to a place where he could do something like that. So there are some women who can go on OnlyFans and do nothing and just sit there on cam. And there's thirsty enough people out there who just pay to look at them because they're created this fantasy in their mind that I have exclusive access to this. I'm seeing something that other people don't get to see. And that's why even on Instagram, where it's PG-13, also, you can make your page into subscription based and have exclusive content. People love exclusivity. They pay for exclusivity. So whether you are selling your face or you have pretty ankles and toes, like whatever it is, if people feel like it's exclusive content, then they'll pay for it.
I agree.
Thank you for exposing that you have never been a dancer, because Pookie has been on both sides. I'm just gonna put your business out there, Pookie. You can stand there and do nothing and get money, sir. It's a lot of truth to that, man. Oh God, what I say, Jay? She said, "So Dinah, you have lived the soft."
Oh, look at that sibling rivalry.
Listen, I have. I'm not even. You see, I'm over here advocating for my people who I thought you was my people, and you over there acting like something that you ain't. These are yeah, but you can do it, huh? Man, I can do a lot of things. Listen, I'm not looking for a hard life. Sometimes people try to make their lives harder so that they can show up in certain circles and be like, I understand the struggle. I don't want to know everybody's struggle. I'm not interested. Give me all the ease I can get with all the money associated with it without selling my soul. Man, I ain't trying to have the worst story or the hardest life just to be perceived a certain way in public. I'm going to use every curl in my head. And if we're going to get more audience members by doing visual than just audio alone, I've never been impressed with my voice anyway. You know what I'm saying to you? So listen, but there's a line you got to draw, because even I've seen in some church cultures, they do still operate on the sexiness sales. And you got to be more careful. Yep, hair, nails, working out, body personality, though I'm not defending OnlyFans. Hold 'em. Jesus, I'm just saying, who knows? The hold 'em. Wow. I think there is some content on OnlyFans that's not rated R, though. There's PG content on there as well. But I don't think that. Yeah, I would know, because I've been considering some things. But if a person has an attribute that will add to the value of their legacy, who am I to say? And if it doesn't compromise their morals, who am I to say? Even if it does compromise their morals, who am I to say? All I can tell you is what thus says the Lord. And if you within those boundaries, man, then capitalize, because what you may be able to capitalize on right now because of the attributes you possess may not be there next month. That may not be trending. You know what I'm saying to you? Mike is, let me ask you, Mike, this is the common argument. What errors did the chocolate brother have over the light-skinned brother? The light skinned brothers had what, the 80s, and then Morris Chestnut came in the 90s and snatched it. I'm not sure if we ever got it back or they ever got it back because I'm in the middle.
Yeah,
Don't let this light fool you. I got that Islander.
I don't think light skinned cats really ever had it.
Shamar Moore never represented for them
with the lip gloss.
Damn, why you can't just stick to the skin?
The squint and the lip gloss. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, I don't.
Just because dark skinned niggas' teeth look whiter because their skin is darker. I think that's,
or because we brush our teeth opposed to light skinned niggas. I don't know. I can just tell you what I've heard.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow. Wow.
These are just things I've heard.
Yeah.
You know?
Y'all use cocoa butter. They use baby oil. You know, it's the difference.
I get it.
Oh, thank you, Nikki. She said there's plenty of PG content on OnlyFans. I know someone who does that do stock tips. That's what I'm gonna go do. Stock
in your drawers.
You know I don't wear those. Listen, FYI, BBLs are going out they're no longer trending since when? Is this an update? If Trevor Noah said it.
Because in order for something to be trending, everybody can't have it. And since everybody has it, it can't trend.
I feel like BBLs are one of those. I feel like those are one of those things that can.
And if I see one more, I'm not gonna. It's my show. I see one more. Listen. Stop getting the tattoos over the BBL scars. We know what happened there. The butterflies, the flowers,
the tribal.
Stop. It's fine. It's okay. We're saying it's okay. It's okay. You know, it's okay. It's cool.
Listen, I tell you, I disagree with Mike. Get rid of the evidence. Do whatever you got to do.
You like a woman with a good scar.
I got enough scars. I was called Scarface as a kid, man. I'm a. Wait a minute. What? Maybe you biased. Hold on. I think she got an OnlyFans. What's going on here? What? Oh no, my bad, Nikki. She said Chocolate Brothers had it for me the whole time.
God is good.
Ain't that something?
I get it. Premium.
So there was this video up that said women who struggle with men being over 6 feet. And that's their parameter. They won't go beyond. The guy said, well, then don't talk to me if you weigh more than 115 pounds. So, and it doesn't fit the same. There's more men who like big women than there is women that like short men. So it's just not an equivalent. It just doesn't work. Men aren't. The thing of he tried it though. He tried it. Well, if you don't like men under 6 feet, then don't be over 115 pounds. He tried it, but it doesn't hold up because men aren't picky like that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Men like women. We like women, short, tall, missing tooth, straight tooth, crooked nose, mismatched eyes. We like women. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah. Oh boy.
I agree. Shit. Yeah.
Oh shoot. Here goes the epitome of it. I'm always gonna have green eyes and curly hair, and that means nothing. So I'm always looking for something deeper. See, you got a lot of the privilege. See that. See, when growing up in the neighborhood,
Go.
I was like, growing up in the neighborhood I grew up to, but that's all the stuff you bought from the store.
Yeah.
Green contacts with a curly wig or a texturizer.
Yep.
Like that's who they wanted to be. To have that naturally is a pretty privilege.
Yep. That's funny.
Oh man. Hold on. Thank you, Pookie. Light skin was in the 90s. Pookie, who? Drop some names so this brother can get his life together.
No, because Pookie like light-skinned Puerto Ricans. So we can't even ask Pookie. We can't ask Pookie. Pookie is 2 steps away from dating outside our race.
Well,
look. You can
because Pookie is this color. Pookie got a little tortilla.
Yeah.
Like so, she never really owned any melanin. So it's hard for her to speak on behalf of. But Pookie, I'm mad. I ain't mad at you. I'm smack dab in the middle. I ain't never been dark, ain't never been light, and that's probably why I ain't never really been chosen. But it's fine. I've always been an anomaly. I sat with my.
Stop lying to yourself. First of all, if you lined up, if you got the number one light skinned nigga, and you got the number one, you got Wesley Snipes, and you got who's the lightest of the light skins, like that they representative. Who's your representative, babe?
Wow, Mike, you sleeping on the couch tonight? Sleeping on the couch tonight.
Who my ass? I'm just asking.
Wait a minute. Why did Jay say 115 pounds? I was born at that weight.
You would fall under. My point is, you would fall. We would take you. We would welcome you with open arms, sir.
I appreciate that.
Because you're 2 steps away from being dark skin, but you do have the squint, which kind of puts you in the light skin category as well as the texture of hair. So, wow, this nigga started squinting and turned up his light. This nigga here. Wow.
You're welcome.
Sheesh.
You're welcome.
Wow.
It was the light. See, that's how. If tell me, dark skin brothers is in. Look,
oh.
dark skin brothers is in. All right, I'm ready.
There it is.
That's how you niggas look.
She said Michael Ealy. Is that how you pronounce his name? Ealy? Yep. Michael Ealy. Pook said Michael Ealy too. Okay, Carrie said Prince. So you got Prince, Michael Ealy, and you got Wesley Snipes and Flavor Flav.
I ain't never seen Prince as a light-skinned man, but I guess he is.
We would take you. Wow. You come to the dark side, literally.
Jason Momoa for the Beige Brothers. Why she say Michael Jackson? He's been on both sides.
Wow. We don't even know. That's the anomaly right there. Mike
he gave it up. He said,
right
his dark skin thing ain't working for me.
Nah,
it ain't working.
Mike said, I got vitiligo, so I'm gonna have to just go ahead and figure it out.
Carrie said Prince was short and light and had no lack.
But he had a dark man's voice. That nigga's voice was so baritone. You know, light skinned niggas have a light like a
wow.
Hi.
Wow.
Right. I can't really, my octave don't go that, but hi.
Too much melanin in your system. You can't. Say it again, Mike. Say it again.
Hi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, no shade to my light skinned brothers.
Oh, bruh.
Right on.
Clearly, you're trying to give them all the shade because that's why they can't get no darker.
Now it's them.
Because they in the shade.
Now it's them. You was trying to rep with them for a second. Now it's them.
Wow. All right, listen.
Yes.
Next. Actually, you know what? Let's do halftime for a second, and then we'll finish up some more videos because Mike got some stuff to share with y'all. I'm leaving.
Like the show, like ladies and gents, it's halftime. If you are not already following us on our socials, please do so. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Maybe this will help the podcast. If you guys see anything throughout the week that may be interesting that you want to see us talk about on the show, feel free to DM us on our Instagram page and drop that in our DMs, and we'll look over it and try to get it on the show. We're trying to get better at that, because I know a lot of people drop stuff in our DMs and it's good content. We just sifting through it gets a little bit difficult, so bear with us. We are going to try to get that stuff on in the upcoming shows. Also, if anyone has a small business, please shoot that to us as well. Again, you can DM us a screenshot if you have a website or Instagram page or a business card, flyer, whatever it is. Screenshot it, send it to us, and we'll try to put it up kind of like this. This is actually my business that I want to shout out, my printing business that I've been running since 2014. Banners, flyers, window decals, business cards, tents, pretty much if you need it printed, we can do it. Also, Baydan Rentals, also one of my companies that I co-own with my fiance and my brother and his wife. We do event rentals, jumpers, tables, chairs, all that good stuff. And one more, anybody needs a tall, dark skin, in shape, black male who's also a protector and will be a good husband. Also model. So please go follow and run up the likes on those pics and vids. I'd appreciate that because that's also a way I make a living. Thank you and good night. But we are also trying to grow our podcast and do a lot of great things for you guys before this year is up. But in order to do so, even in order to stay on the air, we need some financial, I don't want to call it help. Is it help?
Contribution.
There it is. Assistance, as the French would say.
All right.
Johnny, take it away.
Show us the money. Listen, I know. I mean, people like when you shoot it to them straight. We may not be here next week.
That's what she said.
And I don't know what it's going to take. We done got visual. We do our makeup every Sunday. Might get new braids. And he gets teeth whitened every week just so we can build our fan base and y'all not paying. And I don't understand. You can't send 50 cents. Look at this brother. Just look at him. Look at
you.
I was talking about the dark-skinned brothers. Y'all would take me. Ladies and gentlemen, we just giving y'all a hard time. Listen, if you want to contribute to what's happening over here, maybe this help the podcast, go to our Cash App or go to our email. We accept Zelle and Venmo. Maybe this will help podcast@gmail.com. Maybe this will help podcast@gmail. If you're thinking about doing it, stop right now. Go do it. $5, $2. Ain't too proud to beg. Oh, if you're loving it strong and you got it going on. And that's it. That's all I got, Mike.
All right. What about the favorite moments?
We got 30 minutes left in the show, and I got videos to share. So
no, your spiel about if you have a favorite moment.
I'm ready to go.
Let's do
Ladies and gentlemen,
let's do it.
If you've had a favorite moment in the show so far, throw it in the chat. What's been your favorite quote? Especially because Mike, because he's been on fire tonight. Just Jesus, just not holding back at all. I'm talking to the people. Put your favorite quote from Mike in the chat. Because we like to do that because people come back and watch this on rebroadcast. Are able to hear from you and highlight certain parts in the show they should pay attention to because it's a family affair. We're all contributing. Even if you don't bring money, bring comments, bring your opinion. It's all welcomed here. So we thank you guys so much. And we're about to get on with the show. Pookie said the whole show thus far has been hilarious. I bet it has. And Mike is over there choosing the hard life. You could have a soft life talking about I'm just trying to pay bills. Get on OnlyFans.
I've considered it, but I would need a way to cover my face and my tattoos to not,
You don't want nobody to know you're on OnlyFans?
Nah. Not the stuff I'm finna be doing out here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. I'm not having that conversation.
Not again.
Not again. All right, so where we want to go? You know what? We're about to get into some trouble. Let's do this.
Started to experience a huge problem recently. I've realized that you men have dealt with it your entire life. Communicating with women is fucking impossible. Here's the problem. You can't be honest with them. One thing I've learned from studying men is that you guys are often very honest with one another. At least amongst yourselves, you say what needs to be said rather than what someone wants to hear. And that's because it's also what you would want to hear. But women cannot handle the truth. The truth often sends women into an absolute frenzy because the truth can often be offensive and our first reaction is always emotional. I've experienced this firsthand. My friends ask me for advice all the time, and I've never felt more like a girl than when I'm scared shitless to tell them that they might be the problem. I know it's what they need to hear, but because I know how much it would hurt me to hear that, I hesitate to say it, and I don't think men struggle with this as much. So what's the lesson for men? Be aware of this reality, but do not sacrifice your honesty. Even though women are offended by it, it's still the best thing for them in the grand scheme. A good woman will appreciate honesty, even if not immediately. I know I certainly do.
Well, we can have a discussion, or we can just ride off what Angelina said.
They just don't want to communicate with your dumb ass. She's got good pussy. You know what? I was on the fence, but when she made mention of how, for instance, you and I talk as opposed to how me and Janae talk, there is, although both are honest, there is a little, let me try to fluff this honesty a little bit before I deliver it, as opposed to you. I can be like, nigga, nah, that fit is stupid. Take that shit off. What are you wearing? To her, I might have been like, oh, babe, maybe try a different shirt or, you know what I mean?
All right, let me ask a question. Here we go. Women struggle receiving honesty from men. What is the equivalent that men struggle receiving from women?
I was gonna say something, but that's inappropriate.
Mike.
I did not.
We all know.
Struggle receiving from women. Struggle.
Because if we can't find an equivalent, I'm struggling with accepting this as a worthy generalization conversation.
I guess. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
Sheesh.
Golly.
I guess for men it would be
my heart
appreciated. A feeling of appreciation. I know
we struggle accepting receiving appreciation from women.
Meaning I know in some of my own relationships and guys that I've talked to, sometimes they just don't feel appreciated. They feel like I do this, and this, and I just don't feel like
No. That's not what I mean. What is it that women want to give men, but they are hesitant to give them it because men struggle receiving it?
So again, speaking from personal experience, it's probably help. I'm not a big person to ask my woman for help.
That's good.
I'll listen. I'll wear that burden for a year straight. I mean, to the point where clearly it's affecting you, sir. I've offered to help you. Let me help you. And they'd be like, nah, I got it. Because it's ego, it's, you know what I mean, machismo.
So I'm adding this up in my head. So if women struggle with honesty because of their emotional state, men struggle with receiving help because of their ego.
I would say that, yeah.
People in the chat are saying that it's the same thing. Men don't necessarily want to hear the truth either.
Some men,
Luke said, I think it's the same because men don't like to always hear truth either. Kiss Maya said the same thing. The same thing is honesty.
I think anybody that knows, tell me what it is. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't try to dumb it down. Don't water it. Tell me what it is. If I'm talking to you in your face and my breath stinks, tell me my breath stinks. If I got a booger on my nose, tell me I got a booger on my nose. Don't just tell me. That's the only way I can fix it is if you tell me.
All right. I think we're going to have a conversation about this. Carrie said, this is why I tend to have more male friends. It's so much easier. I need to use more adjectives in my conversation with my female friends. With my male friends, I just need a subject and a predicate. I got through that sentence like a subject and a predicate.
Yeah. Bars.
Come on, Webb.
White bars.
I think so. So thank you for that. Because Maya said you are rare, Michael David Daniel. I was going to say amongst the men that you know, do they also advocate for receiving honesty the way you just stated it? Your guy friends, are they like that as well?
Out of the 5, I'd say for the most part. For the most part, it may be 1, maybe 2 that kind of shy away from it or don't really like to hear it. But for the most part, yeah. Because
I don't know, man.
How can I grow? How can I get better? And let's talk about romantic relationships. How can I get better in the relationship, or how can I grow if in my mind I'm doing something the right way, but it ain't really the right way?
So let me say this though, because Kiss Maya had a very good point that I want to talk about. She said most men say they are, but they really aren't. There's a difference between you being able to receive honesty and processing honesty in a healthy way. I think men might have a tendency to be able to hear it in the moment, but then what do we do when we go in our private space? How are we processing that? Does it really affect us in a way that we didn't show in the moment because we got that, again, our ego is showing up like, yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. You know, I'm not attractive. I get it. No. That's good honesty. And then we go somewhere and cry or struggle or fight.
So I never said honesty didn't sting. I never said that honesty didn't like, okay, I hear you, and I'm gonna work on that. But I never said it didn't sting. What I said is that's the way I like my truth. like straight bullet to the head. That's it. I don't. That's it.
Good God. All right.
I'm just saying, if
enough.
it stings, it stings. Because sometimes, like she said in the video, the truth sometimes does hurt.
I'll say this though. For me, in my experience, I don't think that I've given every woman the proper chance. I think because my experience with women has been that they're the women I've experienced for the most part have lacked emotional stability. I'm hesitant to do, straight truth with them. And I think that in my own, fault, I've generalized women to the degree that I can just meet a woman and assume that that's the best way to talk to her without asking her, like, can you handle this straight? And I think that, in my recent relationship, it's been a conversation around like, just tell me, but because of my past experiences with women, I'm hypersensitive to a woman crying, to a woman feeling like frustrated because I said something to them. And that could just be the sting. They could actually be okay. But me not wanting the woman I'm with to cry or to feel sad about something that I said is actually not healthy for the relationship.
Right.
I need to be okay with saying things because, like the Bible says, it's better a wound from a friend. I mean, it's better a wound from a friend than a kiss from an enemy. Yeah. Right. And so it's like, if you can't rely on me to be honest with you in a relationship, then what is we doing? For real, what is we doing? Like, if you can't rely on me to be honest, then that really does play in my mind of how trustworthy you're going to be here.
Or not going to be.
Yeah. Oh, wow. She said, Angelina said, find a woman that's divorced after 10 years plus. She will treat you a whole different way. I think the truth tends to hurt when someone realizes they have been lying to themselves about that issue.
Ooh, come on. That's it. That's it. That is it. When you've been telling you, I'll give you a prime example. And
because May had struck a chord. Go ahead, bro.
No, I'm just saying, because me and Janae, we've discussed this before. So anything I share on the show, I know she's okay with it. But when I stepped outside of our relationship, while I was still on this podcast some years ago, she told me, you don't need to be on the podcast. You're a hypocrite. And I had to literally step back. Like, you're right. You're right. You were right. As much as that stung and as much as my ego wanted to say, nah, because, I'm trying to do better and this and that. She was right. And I had to legit, like, all right, I'm going to step back because I got to get some shit together.
I'll say this, man, because I like that. I like what you sampled in that. If you want honesty from your partner or from your friends, from your coworkers or whatever, when you hear it, do your best not to become defensive.
Right.
Because that's one of the things that will cause some people to either stop talking to you or stop giving you that straight truth that you need for growth. Being defensive is actually a form of self-sabotage because you are restricting the path of truth coming into your life from people that you trust, which is going to impact your ability to grow. It's those self-realizations that come from people that you say you trust, but when they give you truth, you get defensive. It's going to impact somewhere. They may not stop being honest with you, but it may impact how they deliver it, or they have to go through so many steps to change your tone and change your delivery and all these kind of things. The more you can just accept straight truth, the better that relationship is going to be. Trust and believe.
Yeah. And there, I feel like they'll, because we are human, I feel like there'll always be a certain level of sting to it, especially when it's something that you feel or don't realize is actually true and somebody brings it to your attention. I feel like there'll be a certain level of sting, but I feel like it's how you handle that. Like I said before, that hurt, but you're right. And I do need to fix that. And I am going to work on that, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like, even if we're out in public and I say, bruh, your breath stink, you want a mint? It'll be like, oh shoot, damn, my bad. But at the end of the day, what kind of homeboy would I be to let you talk in all these people's face and not say nothing?
Yep.
And that's how I see it. Like, what kind of homeboy or what kind of fiance or what kind of dad or what kind of son would I be if I see an issue and ain't nobody else around you telling you? No, I'm gonna tell you.
I think that if you're in an environment where that kind of truth isn't welcomed, You're hurting yourself, man. You are hurting yourself with the people that you are choosing to surround yourself with.
But see that, but that's the thing. The people I surround myself already know where I'm coming from. And if I say it, it ain't to put you on blast, it ain't to make you feel bad, it ain't to make you self-conscious, because I would want you to tell me, and you know what I mean? I don't want you going out there looking a certain way.
I hear you.
Just like with my son, Dad, how does this look? I'm gonna tell you. Janae know too. They don't know if you asking me my opinion, I'm gonna tell you what I think. Your shirt is wrinkled, son. Your shoes are dirty. That don't look good. You need to go change.
So is it appropriate? Because I just saw something right here. She said, Angelina said, better have some mints if you're going to mention it. Is it appropriate to only call out something if you have a way to contribute to it being better, or you can just call it out for calling it out sake?
I think it's that's a good one. I think that it helps if you have a remedy for whatever that issue may be. But if I don't, I'm still not going to be silent about it.
McJella said, who asked you? When you said be my friend,
it's better to come from somebody you love than somebody that you don't.
But you said it best. So like you said on last week's episode, like, don't just call everybody friend. When I call you friend, I'm expecting honesty and truth from you. When I call you into my life as a friend, I'm giving you access. And with that access comes a responsibility. And part of our responsibility is to expose me to things that other people, like my enemies, wouldn't expose me to, that are hindering my growth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Otherwise, maybe I'm just a cool person to talk to or something. I don't know. Don't give me the title of your friend if I can't do friend shit. Because when I hear the word friend, I'm gonna do friendship whether it's warranted or not, because I'm your friend. Yeah, you didn't say somebody was close to you passed away. You didn't ask me to come over here. You may want to be alone. You may not want to talk to nobody. I don't care. If I feel if the Lord puts it on my heart, go to Donnie's house and go give him a hug, or show up at the service and give him a hug, or call him, text him, whatever the case may be. I'm finna be that friend. You could be mad at me later.
Yep. All right. On to the next. Man, this has been good so far. Let me see how I want to keep this this flow going. All right. How about this? We're talking about that woman and man thing. This would be a good one. We still got time.
This is a rule for two people in a relationship, and I generally find that women break this rule more than men. You can ask me how I feel. You cannot tell me how I feel. Mm-hmm. That is a huge issue that I see, where women are like, you don't like me because you looked at this. No, stop. You can ask me how I feel. You cannot tell me how I feel. If you do that, you understand the boundaries of the relationship, right? And you're both pulling in the same direction. That's what I need. What I need from a partner, I need peace. I need her to pull in the same direction, and I need her to understand what the boundaries are. This is a
Ooh. I'm gonna start with the end first. What I need in a partner is someone to pull in the same direction. But what if your direction not right? I don't want a partner that's just gonna pull the way I'm pulling just because I'm pulling that way. I want you to be able to have your own mind, your own thoughts, because that's the only way I'm gonna grow as well. That's the only way we're gonna grow in a relationship, is if I'm pulling this way, but you're saying, hey, babe, it's easier if we both pull that way. Okay, cool. Let me change the way I'm pulling and let's pull together. It's not always I'm pulling this way, so come on, you pull with me. Nah.
Are you changing your direction to pull without asking questions?
You know me. Communication is key. So
that's what I'm saying. Like I know in my situations I've been in, and people present suggestions to me. I spend a lot of time in my head mulling through ideas, researching before I, like one of my friends told me recently that you don't seem like the kind of person that just makes decisions haphazardly, and I don't. And so when people present me with emotion-driven decisions, I'm quick to show resistance, because I'm like, what effort did you put into making sure this was in my best interest versus the fact that you just feel like it is?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking. Like, I understand being a good partner and your partner saying, hey, let's do this. Like, all right, cool. Like, but especially if it's a marriage and I'm the head and I'm going to take the blunt force of any hit this marriage is to incur, like I need to verify it again, even if it's coming from my partner. Like, let's sit down and look at what besides what you're suggesting, show me your work. Give me a little bit of background. Let's discuss it together. Not to say my way is always right, not the way yours.
But that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's not going to just be my way because I'm saying it's my way. To me, that's a dictatorship. That's not a marriage.
All right, so go back to the beginning of the video. How you feel about that part?
So wait, run it back.
Telling you how you feel, not asking me how I feel.
This is a rule for two people in a relationship, and I generally find that women break this rule more than men. You can ask me how I feel. You cannot tell me how I feel.
Yeah, I got it. First of all, she can do whatever she want to do. He can do whatever. He can tell you all day long. You may not like it. They can, and they usually do. I also don't feel like this is just for women, because I found myself doing this too, especially when there's a heated debate in previous relationships. No, you feel like yada 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 and yada 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 yada. I don't know if she feels that way, but in my mind, that's how she feels because I'm just basing it on what you're saying and your actions and whatnot, yada yada yada. But I feel like, you shouldn't tell someone how they feel, how they feel. But a lot of times people don't realize like your actions can say a lot more than your words. So if you're telling me one thing, but your actions are saying something completely different, then in my mind, I'm gonna go with what you're showing me.
So what I'm hearing him say is that both people do it. Women tend to do it more often than men. But what he's saying is that there's an unspoken rule in relationships that you are not supposed to tell people how they feel. I didn't know that was a rule in relationships. So the question now is, do you feel like it should be a rule in a relationship? Don't ever tell the person you're with how they feel. Is that just disrespectful from a human to a human? It's because he's calling it a boundary.
I feel like when feelings and emotions get involved, things like, okay, maybe he's right. Maybe it should be, I feel like you feel this way. Maybe that would take some of the sting off of it. But it's still saying the same thing, just in a different way.
It is. But it's taking ownership because it sounds. Yeah. When you say you feel this way, it sounds very accusatory. Yeah. It sounds very guilty until proven innocent. Yeah. And I like what he's saying because it does hold space for this is what I'm thinking and I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. Versus I've concluded it without your input and this is how you feel. Mm-hmm. How the hell do you know how I feel without asking me?
What if it's because of what you've shown in previous situations that are similar?
And so now they're using a previous reference, but still the person should be concluded in a conversation about you drawing a conclusion about who they are if you want the relationship to continue to go in a healthy direction. If this is a stranger or somebody you no longer want to be with, I've been there. I've drawn the conclusion. I don't trust you to be honest with me about who you are anyway. This is who I know you to be from patterns and I'm out. Yeah. But if you're saying it from a place of, hey, this is not healthy for you and healthy for us, it's best to bring it in from an inquisitive place versus a place of condemnation or conclusion. Because it's like, man, at what point did you even ask? Like, there's a humility in asking that. Because remember, we said on the podcast a few weeks ago, all that I know is what I know so far. Like, knowing that I could be wrong. Yeah, I agree. It is a form. It's a disrespect, but I think it's also a hint of arrogance in that as well.
Mm. Yeah, I can see that.
So McJellin said, remember, feelings are also very deceptive. We can't go off feelings. We must try to understand why we feel how we feel before we understand others' feelings. Because usually the thing that's said is, I feel like you don't like me, or you feel this way. Like you're letting me know that the predominant vote in your conclusion was your feelings.
But so see, I kind of disagree with that because for me, that's what I have. Even in communication, even if I think you are ignoring my calls because we had a disagreement last week.
Because you think you're better than me.
Yeah, let's use that. Because you think you're better than me. And in your mind, you good. I'm not ignoring your calls. I was just at work. So what I'm gonna say is, yo, bro, look, I'm feeling like you are ignoring my calls because you think you're better than me. What's up with that? I'm still basing it on feelings. That's all I have to base it on.
But see, the thing is that you're acknowledging that you're taking ownership of the feeling versus putting it on me as a fact.
100%. But what I'm saying is, it's still based on feelings. There's just my feelings, but it's still based on feelings. We have to base it on feelings. That's all it could be based on.
And so I think that presenting it as a you've been served situation, you are from here forward identified as a selfish person versus I'm not really feeling appreciated. I feel like you don't really appreciate me and that you make everything about you. Followed up with
conversation.
Am I right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Asking questions. Exactly. Yeah.
Man, that was good. All right, we're moving on. We still got some time. There's 2 videos I want to get to. Let's see how much time we have, man.
As much time as we want to have. What you mean?
This is true. I know. This is tempting. Let me see.
I talked with my pastor, and he goes, "Here's what I want."
All right. Let's do the 39-second one first.
Wives, you bring a critical spirit into your marriage, set the clock. Your husband's soul is dying. I don't care how tough he is, how strong he is, how resilient he is. You're tearing away at the foundation of his mental and spiritual health. When you, as his helpmate, rather than encouraging him, criticize him. It's literally walking in the role of the Spirit of God, who is our helper, given to us to edify us and strengthen us and point us to Jesus and convict us of our stupidity. Husbands, your wives will never flourish if the soil of their soul is constantly being poisoned with criticism. You want to watch your wife flourish? You fertilize the soil of her soul with gospel-oriented affirmation. Why?
Let me give you this definition real quick. One website says that a critical spirit is not criticism, but rather the spirit that examines with a critical eye. And critical spirit is not criticism, but rather the spirit that examines with a critical eye the nature and content of the object or process. As a result of this critical spirit, one can then offer reasoned arguments of refutation or support. Most often, however, faults are discovered and brought to light. When I first heard this video, it didn't sound like that's the definition he was using for a critical spirit. Because it's not the same as criticism. It's just saying that people have a tendency or a hard drive to lead with looking for leaks and faults in things. And they discover them not for the purpose of condemning a person, but exposing issues, which I still feel like fits into the video because it's almost to the point, like we talked about that honesty conversation. If something is wrong or off, tell me. But then we have psychologists telling us, try the sandwich technique. Give me a compliment and then give me criticism and then finish it up with another compliment. What's the approach that works for you, man?
Number one, I feel like the criticizing thing, like if this is a woman that I've asked God for and prayed to God to have even before we met, and I feel like, man, God did it. He blessed me with her. This is it. Then I think I said this last podcast. Then why would I then go back and criticize that something that I felt was a gift from God? So God made a mistake. He messed up your gift. You wanted your gift to look like this, and because now you feel like there's an issue or a problem or a flaw, now you feel like you have the right to criticize something that God bless you with. I've never been one to criticize in relationships, simply because I feel like, especially now, I realize that people are human and people are going to do human shit every single day. Every single day, Janae does something that's human. Every single day, I do something that's human. It may spark. It may step on a nerve. It may spark a conversation or whatnot, but it's gonna happen. And the sooner people get to realize that, like, just because like she said I do, or just because he said I do, don't all of a sudden make this man perfect or make this woman perfect. They're still gonna have their own issues, like, and that's okay.
So I understand that. I think that having a partner that has a good discernment and a good critical eye is healthy as a partner, as long as you guys are looking outward. But when they look at you with that same eye, it's an issue. But you want them to have that ability to be able to dissect and find leaks and issues in the stuff that you guys are doing together. But when it turns on you, then there's this sensitivity. And I understand that. I'm a little bit in agreement with that, because the people closest to you can hurt you the most. And so in the areas where when the areas that you value the most, or people value the most, it's better to walk with a certain kind of consideration of the arena that you're in. If you're in somebody's heart, like I think somebody said it in the comments, like it's one thing to bring the benefit of having a critical eye, but it shouldn't be so heavily outweighed that I hardly ever hear encouragement.
Yes.
If you put all that energy into correcting me, also put the equal amount or maybe more energy into celebrating me when things are operating in the way of your expectations. I think Angelina said it good. She said, because you never shared as a husband your expectations, not my fault, you displayed different. I think that this is where we start to kind of look at why is this criticism being presented with so much enthusiasm, absent like all the other things that I've done. Like, where is that encouragement? Where's the energy putting into celebrating me for the things that have exceeded your expectations?
I'm gonna read real quick the definition of criticize. Indicate the faults of someone or something in a disapproving way. I feel like none of us have the right to criticize anybody, because we all have faults. So now, like, what gives me the right to criticize this person on a fault when I got a million different faults myself?
Well,
is it because your fault is different than mine, so now I can criticize you on that one? It's different. I think that criticizing and me coming to you with something that I feel may be an issue is two different things.
Okay, I'm about to say, so all my disapprovals I need to just keep to myself?
No, disapproving. No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. But this is more indicating that it's a fault. Like this is your fault. Like, but is that her fault that she's a human, so she's gonna make mistakes? Is that her fault, or
so I mean, this goes back to the conversation.
The creator, or do you blame the human?
So, man, this conversation goes so many directions, because it goes back to being honest. Like, listen, like, you made a bad decision. That wasn't a good decision. Right. I didn't send you here to do that. You've told me yourself you came here to love me. Why would you do that? That's not a good decision.
I don't feel like that's criticizing someone, though.
What is that?
You're coming to them out of love with a concern. Like, hey, I've been seeing you going down this path, and we already know where that's gonna lead. So you might want to.
So give me an example of criticism. I don't like the way you cook the chicken.
You always cook the chicken like that. Why you always cook the chicken like that?
In a disapproving way.
In a disapproving way.
It's interesting. I think that what I'm taking away from this video, honestly, is that is people acknowledging the impact of how they say things and how they highlight things over other things. That's what I'm taking away from this video. Even though he didn't say all that, I'm really McJellin, send you the video. All right, I'll text it to you in just a moment. She said read constructive criticism. Whew. I'll look that up now, because that's something we talk about at my job. It's people who are able to receive constructive criticism actually excel in growth more than people who struggle with it. Jesus.
I think constructive criticism is dope, because it's not about faulting a person or disapproving of it. It's more so in order to help that person grow.
It says constructive criticism is a type of feedback that offers specific and actionable advice to help employees to improve. It should be clear and direct and include practical steps as an employee can take to move forward. So I'm trying to identify, there's a difference between being critical, complaining, and also like being like that nagging wife that the Bible talks about. Because sometimes you are critical and you don't mean to be critical, but you are so dissatisfied because you're in a relationship that you shouldn't even be in.
Yeah.
And your complaints actually should you expose your partner to complaints you have about a situation because you're complaining to you internally about why are we still doing this?
That's it.
The evidence has been presented. This is who this person is and is
So
going to
many
continue
times.
to be. And you're trying to control and change it. And all the evidence is here for both you guys that this really isn't for you.
Yep. Which causes frustration, and it causes now everything is a criticism. She been leaving the bathroom light on for the last 12 years, and now all of a sudden you always leave the damn light on. Why you can't? That's the problem now. Everything becomes a problem when you're in something you're not supposed to be in.
Yep. Let me send this over to Amber real quick. Buddy, that was a good one. All right, McJellen is sent. All right, so I want to do. It's 10 o'clock, bro. You want to do another one? Or we good to go?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
All right.
I talked with my pastor, and he goes, here's what I want you to do. Write a list of everything you want in a wife. And for me, dark hair, dark eyes, athletic build. They love Jesus more than me. Fiery in their attitude, but, freaking the sheets type of thing. So, all right.
Make your request known, Bishop.
Come on, man.
Put it on the list. Ask, seek, knock.
Come on. In your lap, running over.
In your lap.
Stop it. Let me tell you something. Listen.
Wow.
Listen.
Press down, shake it together.
Press down, shake it
together. Shake it together, run it over. My. Take it.
Yep. I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to tell you. So once we made the list, he said, okay, now look at the list of the woman that you've made. I was like, oh yeah, it's a great list, the greatest list ever. What kind of man would that woman want to marry? And I was like, oh my goodness. And I knew that I wasn't there. And he goes, now your mission is to become that man.
Yeah.
Right?
Took a very creative way to that ending. But the reason I like this clip so much, and I know that there's people that will struggle with some of the things they were saying, how they were saying it, but it reminds me of conversations.
Too. So that's what I have to say about that. Continue.
It reminds me of conversations that I had with you and Carrie and Dub, and how when men are just talking amongst men, just needing to get some stuff off their chest without, somebody criticizing how they're doing it, and like make it this way so it doesn't I don't even have to do that when I pray and talk to God.
Yeah, come on.
So I know what a safe place feels like. Yes, I come before him with reverence and there's just respect, but he welcomes me when I need to get stuff off my chest.
Yeah.
And it's not intentionally that way. And when my humor goes a little way, like he you know what I'm saying to you? So it's like, I love that about that video, because that's what you get in a room when you're not allowed to speak, like this podcast. You just hearing men talk it out and how it came to that conclusion. Like, yeah, all that's great, but are you the kind of man that she would choose? And I always have that favorite quote of mine. If you met your dream come true, why would your dream come true want you?
Yeah, man, we create these lists.
Lord Jesus.
I saw that. Big. Jeez. I saw. I know that people tend to make all of these lists, and I want them to have this, and they go before God, and they're just thanking God for this, and this, but they're forgetting that you still got inner work that you need to do. Why you asking God for all of these things? Have you asked him for strength to help you break these addictions? Have you asked him for patience? Have you asked him for strength to help you hold your tongue and not be so pop off every time somebody says something that you don't like? Have you helped them to ask them to help you with your temper? Like, it's so many things that we forget to ask God for because we just want what we want. Help me get what I want. Forget the work that I need to. Help me get to what I want.
Well, what you want don't want you.
What you want don't want you. Because it happens. It happens. You see her or you see him, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's it. Let me go up to, and then y'all get to talking, and she like, ugh, you ain't it.
Bruh.
You got to look at yourself like, damn, I'm not it. My bad. I'll be back, though. I'll be back.
I hope you're still available when I get there.
Man.
That one struck a chord.
Is there such thing as one that got away, though? Is that like...
Bruh, I used to struggle with that. I thought there was one. And then I got her back and was like, no, I was good.
You was good being the one that got away. Stay away.
Listen, I was like, I was good. I was good. I want to share something before we get out of here. I know that was probably our last video, but I like what we did last week when we gave people a little preview of what we're going to start with the week after. And so I want to ask you a question, Mike. If either one of these videos would be a good one to start with next week. All right, so let's start with this one right here.
Here's what cheating is. There's secrecy involved and some sexual energy. If there's no secrecy, even if there's sexual energy, it's not cheating. There's some people that have threesomes and stuff. Yeah, there's no secrecy involved. But if there's secrecy and sexual energy, it's cheating. Here's what cheating is.
Or next week we'll start with something like this.
Number one question I get at my talks is, what do you do when the people closest to you don't support your growth? And the main reason they don't support it is because you're killing off the person they love.
Oh, man.
I mean, think about that. Like, you're changing who you are, and they're comfortable with who you are, and they feel that's their reality too, is caught up in who you are being. So when you decide to change, you're killing off their buddy, and you're screwing up their reality because you fit into theirs.
Hold on, you muted, bro.
I got two. This is go shit. I got two people very close to me that I could use for both of those videos as examples.
Next week. I guess we're gonna use both of them next week.
Yeah. Those are really, really good. Jeez.
All right.
Those two may last the whole show. Who knows?
They might, and I mean I'm open to it. I want to leave you guys with something. Just look at this.
Who you are to even appraise who's actually around you.
And I know I'm not gonna say it right. Do you know what Berea is? A Berea? How do you say it? Berea? The beef? Berea? Berea. So there's this place I went to. I met my homeboy there called Fatima's Grill. When I say look them up on Instagram, you're gonna hurt yourself. I didn't know what to get. I didn't know if I should get the macaroni and cheese quesadilla or if I should get the hot Cheeto burger. The bun is covered with the hot Cheeto powder. I ended up getting a birria and chicken tender burger. It's halal, so I guess that has something to do with like really fresh.
Yeah.
When I say the fries, when I say I almost hurt myself, I wanted to go back today, bro. And you know that I'm just now reintroducing the red meat into my diet. Thick, juicy. The birria was just as juicy as the chicken tender inside there with the coleslaw, and the fries was just crunchy with the ketchup. And I was just like, I am an advocate. And you know how healthy I try to eat. This place, when they have a 3-meat quesadilla and burrito, they got chicken, birria, and shrimp inside the quesadilla or inside the burrito. They have all these options. My boy got some kind of shrimp tacos that they grilled the cheese and the sauce in the pan and then scooped it up with the shell, fried that, and then put the shrimp in it. Dumb. Just dumb. Check them out. That's all I got for you.
This was supposed to be done at halftime.
Yeah, but I just got hungry towards the end of the show, so
nah, we're gonna
I would go right now if I could. I am having an entire moment.
Janae is looking them up right now.
Man.
Real quick before we go, before we get into this real quick, we have spoken with his wife a couple of times, and she gave us our blessing to share this information and kind of just, you know, sometimes we just give him his flowers. I know he's no longer with us right now, but for those of the viewers that don't know, the honorary third member of our show, Reggie, passed away last week. He passed away. We spoken with his wife, and gave her some encouraging words, and still keeping her encouraged. Won't get into details of how he passed or whatnot, but just keep his wife, Reggie's wife, in your prayers, and his family. What's funny about it, me and Reggie never met in person, but you always you meet those people in life where it's like, how do we get along so well and we never met? We've never had a one-on-one conversation, but it's just like, I know when it was our time to meet, I know we were going to hit it off like that. I mean, the brother brought a wealth of knowledge to the show, and I just know in my spirit and my heart that he was just one of those guys that just lit up a room, as his wife, I'm sure, would tell you. So yeah, it's with a very heavy heart to just know that we won't see him on the show anymore. But he always brought laughter and light to the show whenever he was on here. Yeah, man. Donnie, you got anything?
I think you nailed it, man. We just honor and respect
his
life and the legacy that he was able to leave us with in such a short period of time. If anybody's been on this show for any amount of time, you saw Reggie come through with the comments that we were talking about his wedding that we were supposed to go to in December, and just about him being an honorary host to the show, and like he had love for us. Even when he was in the hospital, he was still watching the show, trying to chime in whenever he could. So like you said, with heavy hearts but high hopes, and gratitude for God's the way he works. We don't always understand it, but we trust him. Never failed us yet. As I went to the cemetery today, because my cousin that passed away, his birthday was on Friday, I was standing at his grave, and it just hit me. I was like, that's it, huh? Like, that's it. And it's like my breath just left my body, and then the words came up. I'll see him again. And then we started laughing because I was like, not too soon. But soon that for now was really helpful. It just reminds me of all God's promises and how I just thank God for, that was the way he saved him and removed the suffering, and took him out of this sin-ridden flesh and brought him into a place where there's no more tears and no more crying and no more suffering. And so I was just, ended up in a place of gratitude, rode out there, my windows down and my music blasting, saying, all right, cuz I'm going to do this one for you. So with the same respect we give Reg for all he contributed in such a short amount of time, we definitely had chemistry with that guy. And sending love to the wifey. And if there's any way we can do some extra contributions as a podcast family, we'll let you guys know. Sometimes it's hard to know what you need in these moments. And if you guys have any suggestions, go to Maybe This Will Help Podcast at Gmail, or just go to our DMs on Instagram, leave us a message there. And we'll let you know how we're going to be contributing collectively as a community. That's all I got.
All right. Well,
so as we do at the end of every show, we like to leave you guys with a resource. 988. This is a suicide and crisis hotline. The number is now 988. We used to leave you guys with an 800 number. They've made it easier. They also have like online. You can go 988 in Google search and connect with chat. You can chat with someone via text or online chat. And if you're dealing with some kind of personal crisis, or someone who is, this is a good resource to connect with to get the resources you need. They may be able to connect you to a therapist, a psychiatrist, a support group, or they may be able to give you ways to help your person get grounded or find some kind of resolution if you're trying to partner or do an intervention for someone. Share this number with your friends who are struggling, that you know in your heart and your spirit that are struggling, even if they don't look like it on the outside. Just offer it up, you know what I'm saying, with not a lot of pressure on the back end. Just offer it up. And it's good for people to have it. We've had multiple people hit us up and ask for the number. And we have a few testimonies of people who found the help that they needed. So I'd like to give that as a resource at the end of every show. Yeah, so we're gonna pray it out. And I'm gonna pray because in honor of Reg, he would always make fun of me, always saying I wasn't gonna be allowed to pray over the food because it was gonna be cold by the time I finished. But he'd always make fun of me praying for a long time. So I'm gonna do a real quick one, Reg. I'm gonna do a real quick one because there's only a few things I really need to say. And so, Father God, we thank you and we trust you. We thank you and we trust you. We know that your ways are above our ways and your thoughts are above our thoughts. And as we submit to you, we know that we'll run right into what's truly best for us. Even if we don't like it, there's a bigger picture coming together. And so we thank you for the way you've preserved us in ways that look like lost, for the beautiful life in eternity you have waiting for us. We thank you for the amount of time we are here. Father God, help us to be the light, be the salt, show love, Father God, and leave the rest of it to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I'm sure he would have appreciated that one.
Yeah, he would have. He would have, man.
Yeah, before we go, just, I know tomorrow's a holiday. Everybody just be safe out there. Everybody's not in their right mind. Everybody's not sober. So just be aware of your surroundings. Pay attention. Be alert. And enjoy the people that you love.
All right. Until next Sunday, you guys.
2 Chainz.